Okay, seriously, how does a lowly former maid actually force a powerful, untouchable young master to his knees? Welcome to The Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're stepping directly into my shoes, Chun Xi's shoes to be exact, for a really special deep dive. I'm going to show you exactly how I went from literally dodging assassins in the dead of night to making my former oppressor publicly grovel right at my feet. It's an absolute masterclass in survival, strategy, and totally turning the tables on the elite.
A heroine's journal, surviving Zhuzhou and making enemies kneel. Let's just dive right into this, starting with the completely grueling journey. So my husband, the incredibly formidable Master Shen Qingyuan, got sent on this high-stakes corruption investigation down in Zhuzhou, and rather than leave me behind to fend for myself against a household of scheming in-laws, he actually took me along. This wasn't just a business trip, though. It was a massive test of my endurance, our marriage, and my ability to handle everything from petty family drama to, well, lethal political enemies.
Chapter 1: Chaos at the Relay Station. Picture this: heavy rain, bone-deep exhaustion, and a highly troublesome family just waiting to ruin our arrival.
Right, so my awful in-laws, Mo Yunwan, and my third brother-in-law Shen Qingyu somehow beat us there. And they had this sheer audacity to try and steal my assigned room while my husband was away. It just perfectly highlights the completely different worlds we live in. Mo Yunwan's entire survival strategy, it revolves around playing the frail, delicate, crying victim to manipulate everyone. Me, I don't have the luxury of playing weak. When they ordered their attendants to grab me, I literally swung my leg, kicked a heavy wooden bench to block the doorway, and secured that room with a fierce glare and a very real threat of physical violence.
Mo Yunwan even brought along her super hottie maid, Zhang Posey, who aggressively starts throwing my newly arranged belongings onto the floor to assert dominance. I mean, no way was I letting that slide. I had to put her in her place immediately. I looked right at her hand, which was almost poking my face, by the way, and calmly warned her, "I can even hit him. Guess if I dare hit you." Him, of course, being my third brother-in-law. The threat worked flawlessly. She was totally stunned and instinctively backed off.
But see, here's where the real strategy kicks in. You can't just be a brawler. You've got to be an actor. The second Master Shen got back, I totally dropped the fierce warrior act. I immediately threw myself into his chest, buried my face in his robes, and played completely innocent. I looked up at him and whispered, "Master, I said they snuck in while I wasn't paying attention. Would you believe that?" Boom! I expertly turned the tables, beating my plotting in-laws at their own game before they could even open their mouths to complain.
The crucial takeaway here is that Master Shen is ridiculously perceptive, and he always has my back. He didn't fall for their nonsense for a second. The aftermath was just a total victory. He publicly exposed Mo Yunwan's dramatic fake suicide threat with a few heavy words, totally humiliating her, and he entirely ignored Shen Qingyu's desperate whining. And the absolute best part? Shen Qingyu just had to stand there, pathetically clutching his chest, suffering in silence with the broken ribs he'd earned earlier.
Chapter 2: Assassins in the Night. Because petty family drama is absolutely nothing compared to the lethal danger that was waiting for us.
What's really terrifying here is the crazy contrast between the danger outside and the intimacy inside. Back in the capital, Wailing Z, my former master who'd cast me aside, was finally realizing he couldn't control me anymore. He was literally smashing his finest inkstone in a blind rage, eventually escalating things by ordering local thugs to orchestrate chaos and abduct me. Meanwhile, back at the relay station, we finally got a quiet moment. Under the moonlight, Master Shen tenderly noticed something I'd been hiding. My inner thighs were severely chafed and bleeding heavily from the brutal horseback journey. He finally saw exactly how much I was silently enduring just to stay by his side.
But of course, we weren't allowed even 5 minutes of peace. Just look at how fast things escalated. It's midnight. Master Shen has just seen my injuries. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bamboo tube violently pierces the paper window screen. Seconds later, this toxic white smoke starts filling our room. Moments after that, Master Shen is on his feet, fiercely fighting back against the squad of lethal assassins sent by Wailing Z's local allies. I barely even had time to process the smoke. Honestly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I wanted to flay those assassins alive myself. Not just for, trying to murder us, but for completely ruining such a vulnerable, intimate moment between my husband and me. I'm not kidding, my internal monologue right then was literally, "Damn assassins, my pants aren't even back up yet." It's terrifying, sure, but looking back, the sheer chaotic indignity of it is almost kind of funny.
Well, actually, my husband did not find it funny at all. After neutralizing the threat, his orders were brutal and totally uncompromising. Hang the bodies for 3 days before feeding them to dogs. Witnessing that dark, fierce protection, seeing the incredible lengths he would go to just to ensure my safety, it shifted something really deep inside me. It made me realize I wasn't just relying on him for survival anymore. I truly, deeply love this formidable man.
Chapter 3. Return to the capital. We survive assassins and political sabotage, only to be met with the unbelievable audacity of my in-laws.
Surviving Xuzhou definitely changed us, forging us into this unbreakable team. But getting home meant stepping onto a totally different kind of battlefield. During the big family debriefing, my pathetic third brother-in-law actually had the nerve to stand up and claim I was completely useless in Xuzhou, literally saying I did nothing but eat. But Master Shen firmly shut his lies down on the spot. He declared the absolute truth. I had faced down assassins right alongside him, and I would be formally recognized by the authorities for my bravery.
And to really drive the point home to the entire backstabbing household, my husband did something totally unprecedented. Right there in front of the gaping family members, as I was just trying to carry some water, he stepped up, effortlessly hoisted me into his arms, and said, "From now on, whatever happens, we do it together." That wasn't just some romantic gesture. It was a crystal clear warning to the entire Shen family. We are a united front.
Which brings us to the ultimate showdown. Chapter 4, Making Wei Lingzhi Kneel. It was finally time to make my former master pay.
This was the man who let me be abused, tried to force me into becoming a hidden mistress, and orchestrated assassins to hunt me down. So, at this grand family banquet filled with the capital's absolute top-tier elites, I executed a completely flawless, shameless 3-step plan. Step 1, play the ultimate victim. Step 2, make loud, incredibly dramatic threats of suicide, wailing that I couldn't bear the injustice of his family's insults. Step 3, weaponize the overwhelming public pressure from these surrounding noble families. I essentially used the rigid rules of their own high society to completely corner him.
Because thanks to my marriage to Shen Cheng Yohan, my status in the aristocratic family tree was technically higher than Wei Lingzhi's now. I was officially his elder. Ah, the irony. So, with everyone watching, I gleefully reminded him of his place. I looked him dead in the eye and just said, "The tea is getting cold, nephew-in-law. You may kneel now." The absolute boiling fury in his eyes as this proud, arrogant young master was forced to slowly sink to his knees before his former maid. It was incredible.
It was a spectacular victory, right? A moment of pure, hard-earned triumph. I won this battle and I cemented my power. But with Wei Lingzhi so deeply and publicly humiliated, I have to leave you with this question. After forcing my greatest enemy to his knees, what deadly retaliations await me next? You really have to wonder. With his pride totally shattered, how much more dangerous is this game of survival going to become? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember, in this world, you either fight back or you get crushed. See you next time.